The United States has been a united country ever since the end of the Civil War in 1865. As probably most of you know, the two dominant parties in modern-day America are the Republican and Democratic parties. Each party has a varying amount of influence in each of the 50 US states, so what if instead of the current reality of a unified United States, there was a reality where instead all of the Republican states formed their own independent country, and all of the Democrat states formed their own independent country? First, let's define which states are either Republican or Democrat states in the first place. My definition is that if a state voted for the same party in 3 or all 4 of the past 4 presidential elections, then it belongs to that party. This definition only leaves 3 swing states that voted for each party equally in the past 4 presidential elections. But I'm going to give all 3 of them to the Republican country because their state legislatures currently, as of 2017, are controlled by the Republicans. So, this is what a map of the two countries would look like. The Republican country is all connected together except for Alaska up in the north, while the Democrat country is divided into 5 separate parts in the east, the north, the west, the southwest, and Hawaii. Both countries would have a very similar population at 154,203,000 for the Republicans and 168,920,000 for the Democrats. The ethnic diversity in both countries would also be quite similar, with the Republican country being 75% white, 15.4% African American, 2.4% Asian, 1% Native American, 6.2% other, and 15.2% Hispanic or Latino of any race. While the Democrats would be 75.2% white, 11.2% African American, 7.7% Asian, 1% Native American, 4.9% other, and 18.2% Hispanic or Latino of any race. In terms of religion, the Republican country would have significantly more Protestants and Mormons, while the Democrat country would have more Catholics, Jews, and non-religious people. English would be the primary language in both new countries, and Spanish would be the second most spoken language in both as well, but with slightly more people speaking it in the Democratic country. The nominal GDP of the Republican country would be 7.726 trillion US dollars, but the Democrat country would have a much larger economy of $10.732 trillion. This would, however, place both countries behind China, who would assume the new position of having the world's largest economy. Owing to its larger economy, the Democrat country would have a GDP per capita of $63,533, compared to the Republican GDP per capita of $50,105, placing the Democrats with the 4th highest in the world and the Republicans at 12th, both very high and respectable. Both countries would be capable of fielding large and well-funded militaries as well. The Republican military would have an annual budget of $169.26 billion US dollars, the 3rd highest in the world behind China, and would start out with a size of 1,377,000 soldiers, assuming all the soldiers of each state they were originally from returned home. The Democrats, meanwhile, would have a larger budget of $239.17 billion US dollars, even larger than China's, but would begin with less soldiers at 1,296,000 troops. Both countries would have a similar unemployment rate as well, with 4.4% in the Democrat country and 4.6% in the Republican country. Each country would have its fair share of large cities as well, with the top 5 largest in each being Austin, Dallas, San Antonio, Phoenix, and Houston in the case of the Republicans, and San Diego, Philadelphia, Chicago, Los Angeles, and New York in the case of the Democrats. I expect that the capital city of the Republicans would become Austin, since Texas would essentially become the financial and population center of the country owing to the fact that 4 out of 5 of the largest cities are all located there. The capital for the Democrats, meanwhile, would be Washington, D.C., the current U.S. capital that makes the most sense for them since the neighboring states of Maryland and Virginia are also Democrat states. As much as Texas would be the most influential state in the Republican country, California would be the most influential in the Democrat one, since it would boast the largest single economy and population. If this ever were to become a reality, however, both countries would be largely equal. The Democrats would have a larger economy and a higher GDP per capita, but they would both be nuclear power states and both have extremely powerful conventional militaries as well. They would be the 2nd and 3rd largest economies and have an almost equal population. Essentially, they would be evenly matched in most regards. It would be best if the United States stayed together, of course, but it's still fun to theorize. Please leave your comments below about what you think a world in this scenario would actually look like. What would life be like, and would conflict between the two Americas be inevitable, or could it be avoided? If you enjoyed what you just watched, then I hope that you'll subscribe to my channel by clicking here. You can visit my Patreon and vote on upcoming videos just like this one by clicking here. Follow me on Instagram in the link in the description, and I hope to see you next Friday for another brand new video then.